since it's been raining on and off for the past 4 or 5 days, no thanks to Cyclone Jasper, I decided to do a bit of a behind the scenes video since I've got nothing else better to do and I'm going crazy waiting for this rain to stop. So I guess we'll start in the garage where it's nice and dry. We didn't have a show last year because we decided to take a break and came back with a vengeance this year. Not many things we added. We decided to put a bit of a permanent setup with the electrical cabinet this year, which houses my Falcon controller, my Pi, and my switch. Power supply is up there. These are just spare cables I have leaving on the ground. This here powered this board, which isn't in use this year. This actually controlled my buttons for the FPP arcade games, which I haven't set up this year because I feel like that needs a separate Pi to run on as a remote. This is a board I made 2 years ago. It is for my buttons, my GPIO buttons on my Pi, which controlled the buttons for the FPP arcade games and also for my Angel Wings. So no buttons are on, everything's really basic this year just to get the show up and running. I kept it sweet and simple, but I will definitely look into all this again for next year. But that's sort of set up there waiting to go next year. Yeah, bit of a mess, not pretty, but it works. I have my transmitter, which sits up here. It is a very basic setup as well, but it works. Just to give you, this was my button for my Angel Wings. It is a very basic setup, but it was just screwed into the back and attached to my front fence. And this was my arcade game box. So they actually had little RF remote things in here. So that was pretty much, that again was set up on my front fence, and it just reduced the amount of cables required for the buttons, and it worked, but I just need to look at having it on its own Pi. I don't know if it's raining out there, but we'll take an umbrella in case, if I can get this going. And it's getting dark too. Right. So new this year are my canes, my NSR canes, and my musical notes, which are all on my front of the house. All my cabling from the electrical box that you saw comes out my front window and goes left, right and centre to props. If you follow me, you know that I previously had like a whole house matrix that was set up on my front of my house that I did away with this year just because I wanted to make it a lot easier for setup. My outline on my windows are all strip light. They are original since 2016 and still running pretty good. Never had any issues with them. My matrix is going on its 7th year now. We built this with conduit, drilled holes into and pushed all the lights into it. It's just hangs on the top of my window frame there on some screws with some really heavy duty zip ties, and I just noticed the last one's not attached, but it's pretty good. We'll hook that up later. And this year there is only 3 pixels I needed to replace. You can see them here, they're all new. And then after I replaced them, up here somewhere at the start, no, there's my start. At the start of the support connection, this light here is a bit squeezy. I have to always kind of give it a bit of a what for to get it working again. Some more musical notes and candy canes, a lot of cabling, and this is our little hub where we got our power supplies. Nothing too special in here, literally just power supplies and boards, some dead pixels. Impressively, I've only replaced about 10 this year, so I think that's pretty good considering what I've seen. Other end of the house, let's go back and stand on muddy driveways. House outline is all new this year. Well, same pixels, but we just decided to drill conduit and have that as a permanent outline. So that is all new this year, and hopefully will stay up there year round. I've had a few water issues with the roof ridge, but that seems to come good after a few days of dry weather, so I'm not really worried about that. The paper bag on the front of the house there is covering our outdoor light. It is a really finicky thing to unscrew and take the light bulb out, so that kind of is doing the trick right now, and it covers up the outdoor light. We have interesting setups, and whenever we turn the power on for our box out here that's underneath our poinciana tree, it turns on the outdoor light as well. Also new this year, we have done our unicorn. I still haven't got a name for her, but she is new. We've got our patio edge lights. So they run all along there. They're all strip. So we got my Christmas sign, which usually is on the roof of the house up here. We decided to keep them on the ground this year just to make things a little bit easier with installation. You can't really see them, but they're my 4 stars that I have pushed through mesh. They are a couple of years old now. You can see how wet these pixels are. They're all gone. What else can I show you? We'll show you the tree. My tree is very dodgy, and I'm really proud of it. Every year I say I'm going to replace it, and I never do. But it is all strip. It is all zip tied to irrigation pipe, which is wrapped around the base of an old trampoline. An old pallet. And we got a really cool guy wire that is pegged into the ground, and that does its job pretty well. Little box here only has, I'll try and open it without getting water in it. Power supply and a smart receiver. Runs a star in the tree. Okay. I don't do any fancy boxes. We've got my tint tubes, which run the edge of the garden here. They're starting to get a bit yellow now. I was going to replace them this year, but you don't really notice the colour in them at all. They have just nodes in them, and they just got chroma trim poked in there, and they fit in there really well. My mini trees are made myself. They're just the snake mesh or the bird mesh wrapped around some conduit that's all sort of zip tied together. My stars are a new addition this year, but they they fall over quite a bit, so that's why they all got pavers holding them up with light winds that we had last weekend from cyclone that we are now getting the rain from. They kept falling over, so we kind of decided to chuck them on before they fell over during a display. Snowflakes coming on 7 years now. I think I made those in 2017 before we had any Coro vendors in Australia. They were very hard to make. I don't know if you can't really see them from that angle. Maybe if I come over, make you all dizzy. Yeah, so a lot of it's screwed together, silicone together. They've held up. They're starting to get a bit brittle now. I've noticed 1 or 2 of them, so they might get replaced next year. My arches are all strip lights as well. They are just zip tied to conduit, and they do an amazing job. We hammer in just Rio into the ground, and they slide over the Rio in the ground, and they hold up really, really well. And my snowflakes are screwed onto conduit, which is hammered into the ground as well, so they are secured in there as well. My tree wrap is 3 years old now. 3 years old, I think. This is always a fun one to install every year because I always forget how it's set up, and I change it, but it is a really cool feature for the tree. Get a lot of comments on it, but it is also just snake mesh or bird mesh that the lights are pushed into, and they're just attached with bungee cord to the tree. We have got my Chintu sign, which needs replacing next year because I got it out of storage this year and it's all got termites in it. Look at it. So that is literally falling apart. Try not to step in the puddle. Ugh. But this was one of my favourite little things I made, and it is so due to be replaced. I just bought some stickers on eBay, stuck them to cork flute, spray painted the whole thing black, peeled the stickers off, and then I boxed it up with some strip inside. I can't remember how many strips are in there, but I'm going to say maybe about 30 pixels light that up. And it's a strip which is just zigzagged through there. And I have that as a background sequence on FPP. So it's always lit up between sequences as well. We've got my garden lights, my front garden lights, which are also strip. These ones, I actually like the black ones, but they're all black instead of the white strip that you get. And then of course we've got my angel wings, which sits on my fence. We'll have a look at the back first. So this is the back of my angel wings. Every single bottle is zip tied. And there are 2 separate sections, so we've got them joined together to make it all look complete. The little box only has a power supply in there, which I have just data coming in from the controller box, which is under the tree. So it's just data coming in from there and ground, and it's all then powered from this power supply in here. It has issues this year. I have to repair the strip that runs along the top. It's broken somewhere. I'm guessing it's a solder break somewhere. Hang on. But these are my wings. And I'm really impressed that they're actually not filling with water. They're all still really empty. So I'm really happy about that. I thought I'd have to drill a lot of holes into them, but they're pretty cool. This is where everyone parks. It is quite boggy at the moment. We need to have about 1 or 2 days of sun to dry it out, I think, before we let people park on there again. It's a pretty busy road, so we don't really want to have people parking on the road to view the lights. And we are in a competition, our first ever Christmas light competition. Sadly, we don't have many people voting right now. The dog is really challenging, so I'm going to pause this and come back. Right, crisis averted. So you can see we've got a lot of water lying around at the moment. It's very sad, but I'm trying not to drop my phone in a puddle. I didn't actually show you my box in here, which this is going to be fun. Always try and not trip over walking through here. And this is my other controller box that has another Falcon in it. See if I can open it with one hand and holding an umbrella. Nothing too special. Very straightforward, very basic, no pigtails, all Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable we use. Works well. But that is all connected to a power switch that's in here. So it is, you can see it in there. So whenever we turn this light on, or turn the light switch on to turn this light on, it powers the controller. Which is why we have a paper bag on our front porch light. Right, so that is my show. I don't think there's anything else. Pretty sure I covered everything. Hopefully it dries up and we can have some lights on again before Christmas, which is only 9 days away. But for now, I'll play in puddles. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye bye.